Cryptocurrency markets, yes, they've trended a little bit down. And I want to have a very, very, very serious talk with you regarding Bitcoin, regarding Cardano, regarding Ethereum, regarding Solana, anything that you are invested in. How do I put this? The topic of this conversation is greed and desperation. Greed and desperation. But before we get into the greed and desperation aspect of it, it feels, okay? It feels like maybe the market is trending a little bit down right now. Does that mean that we're going into the bear market, the crypto winter? No, it doesn't. Doesn't mean we're not. Doesn't mean that either. It means that nobody really knows, okay? And, oops, got to back up for the truck. And if anybody tells you that they do know, they're lying, okay? That's why this game of risk is a game of self-preservation, a game of protecting the bag, okay? Now, I'm sure a lot of you feel like, hey, I bought Cardano at $2.40, I bought Cardano at $3, I bought Cardano at $2, or I bought Cardano at $1.50, and now, you know, I'm either out of profit or I'm getting close to back to where I started. What do I do? Now, if I could go back and talk to myself 4 years ago and tell myself what I should have done in the very exact same situation, I'd say, Scott, don't do anything, okay? Because greed and desperation can take over and cloud your vision, Scott. Now, this is me talking to myself from the past, and lessons that I've learned. This is not financial advice, of course. But what I will tell you is that when greed and desperation get put together, oh, it's one hell of a cocktail. Because what happens? You say, I'm losing my profits, I'm losing this, I'm losing that. I know what I'll do. I'll do something desperate. And that will save the day. And then I'll get those 100x gains, baby. Whoa. I'm hungry, Brenda. So, what rarely happens, though, is that you do get those 100x gains or those 10x gains or even recoup what you lost or what you were trying to do. Because in that moment, you told yourself a story about how this would fix the problem. But in reality, the problem was, Scott from the past, you didn't have enough patience to wait it out. Warren Buffett is historically one of the all-time greatest investors in history, just sheerly on his ability to wait things out. And being that the man's been in the market since I think he was 14 years old. By the time he was 30, he was worth $1 million. And that was like forever ago. Like $1 million back then would have probably been equivalent to like 20 million. I know that the level of inflation we've had up until, this past year, I think if you went back to 1992, your dollar would be worth 2 times more. So I don't know, do the math. So I'm talking to the people out there who, and believe me, I get greed brain where I'm like, maybe I should put everything into Sundaeswap. No, I'm not going to do that. I like Sundaeswap. I'm really excited to see what they bring to the table, how they open up the ecosystem. By the way, we are opening up Nerd 2, okay? And that is coming very, very soon. So feel free to come stake with Nerd 2, both Nerd pools, Nerd 1 and Nerd 2. And there will be a Nerd 3 as a secondary. We just want to protect everybody's stake and make sure that nothing gets oversaturated. It's filling up actually a lot faster than we thought. And I want to say thank you to all of our delegates, all of the people who've supported this channel. Y'all's likes and your comments have pushed this company up so much. You've pushed us out there. It's like the likes and the comments have such a crazy effect. And I just want to say thank you for supporting this. Like I always say, this all just started out with a man, a microphone, and a drink. And here we are. We're opening up Nerd 2 and Nerd 3. So Nerd 2 will be the primary, secondary pool, food for thought. I like to preach the ethos on this channel of stake and bake, remain calm. And if you look back on every one of my videos that I've ever made, that's all I've ever preached. I've never preached desperation moonshots when a market may be turning down or even turning up. It just doesn't make good financial business sense. And I like to think, even though we're in crypto, which is always a speculative investment, especially at this stage in the game because it is early times, I like to think that I can make sound, logical choices based upon my own investment portfolio strategy, personal position, if that makes sense to you. Smash the like if that makes sense to you. And maybe it's a little redundant here with the things that I say, but you know what? Repetition is the master of the kingdom. That is a fact. In almost any business, repetition, repetition, repetition. And you know what? Maybe you have to hear it 100 times to let it sink in. You know, I hope that I can save somebody out there, because I already know for a fact, because people have reached out to me and told me their stories of woe, of how people have lost money making bad trades, making desperate trades. I mean, literally, people have reached out to me, they've lost over $1 million, okay? So if you're sitting there crying, whining that you lost $500, like, maybe that can put things in a little bit perspective. But the guy who loses 500 and the guy who loses $1.6 million, you know what? The greed and desperation thing, they're pretty much the same. They're pretty much working on your brain the exact same. It's, you know, if you know anything about sales psychology, there's two main things that motivate people: fear of loss and hope for gain. Well, this is a fear of loss, and fear of loss can actually be a stronger motivational tool than a hope for gain. Okay, nobody wants to lose, but that thing can be so motivating that it can motivate you to make a horrible financial decision. And it's done it to me. I mean, I've lost 50,000, 100,000, and it's like a horse pill with no water to swallow. It ain't fun. So, just speaking to Scott from the past and Scott from the future, if you just do the basic fundamental things that everybody tells you to do, not saying you're going to get your 100x. I'm not saying you're not either, but you'll stand a chance to keep it. You'll stand a chance to keep it, and that's what this channel's about, keeping it. Okay, folks, I appreciate everything you've done for me. Look out for Nerd 2. You can stake it in Yo Roy, Daedalus, and if that gets a little filled up, we'll go into Nerd 3. All the pools will receive Sundaeswap tokens. We are an official Sunday scooper, and we couldn't be more proud of that, and you guys did this. Without y'all hitting the likes, commenting, and being a part of our community, our nerd community, this wouldn't be anything, you know? And I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, with the fullest amount of gratitude, thank you for being a part of this journey. And if I always mess the end up, and if I don't see you, I'll see you on the internet. I'm out.